Hey there, I already recorded all of this, only to find out that my mic was muted, so fuck it, no intro. Articulation tricks and timing techniques used in Eyes on Me. So the first thing is swing timing, and swing timing is really easy on the M8 and a lot of other tracker interfaces like LSDJ. It kind of feels like one weird trick territory. I feel like kind of a hack even explaining it to you. But this is the groove screen. Eyes on Me has a 7/5 groove, which means that it spends 7 ticks on odd-numbered lines and 5 ticks on even-numbered lines, and the easiest way to hear what that sounds like is to set it back to the default of 6/6. Now back to 7/5. Let's go crazy. So yeah, don't try to sequence swing timing line by line in tracker interfaces. It will cause you only pain. So if we take a look at one of these bass lines, one of the techniques I use a lot is these tick timing kill commands, because the kill command takes a number. This argument is like, all right, wait 3 ticks and then kill the note on this channel. So you can use it for short duration notes that otherwise don't really fit on the grid, and it can be a nice way to add some rhythmic variation. It's also really easy to do like bends and slides. If you just omit the instrument number but change the pitch, it will change the pitch like you asked, and also not re-trigger an instrument like you asked, so you get kind of the slide effect. You can listen to the bottom half of this pattern here. And now if these were all re-triggers instead, you can do slower slides as well with the pitch slide command. Kind of the same technique. The argument is the amount of time it takes to slide. So here it's 2 ticks. And then if we take that up, we'll hear a slower approach. It might not even finish the bend. So the PVB and PVX commands can be used for some easy inline vibrato. And the PBN command for when you just want to drag a note in a direction and don't really care where it ends up, only how fast it's going there. This last thing is something that I think is a specific strength of like the M8 LSDJ style workflow. Inline tables allow you to access tick level timing in a lot of interesting ways without needing to like track your shit at double speed or whatever. So you can hear here that I've got 6 notes in 4 lines at the end of this run. And that's because I'm triggering an inline table. It sets its own speed to 4 ticks per line as the first and only FX command, and then it just changes the note. And since this doesn't have any instrument re-triggers in it, it's just a slide like before. Totally the same deal for this section. Just a looping table using the hop command to jump right back to the first line. But like, you're totally allowed to pitch bend while that table is running, and that's where a lot of the power comes from, is chaining these techniques together to get that really precise articulation. Like slide plus vibrato, fucking easy stuff. So one more thing, and this isn't really timing related. The reason this track exists at all is because the new M8 5.0 firmware allows you to use wavetables as operators in FM instruments, and I think this can open up a lot of interesting sounds, especially if you weren't super good at FM instrument design before, like me. Before, you only had access to like pure waveforms, which means that unless you were using like sine or triangle, the tones you had access to had like some pretty harsh discontinuities. They created some weird effects. Wavetables not only give you a bunch of new wave shapes, But the feedback parameter on wavetable operators has been repurposed to wavetable position, and that means basically you like morph the waveform gradually as you change the feedback parameter. So if you remember the technique I talked about for FM chords in the previous videos for Note 1, that just got a huge buff because you can now create these kind of evolving wave shapes using the same technique. So right now, mod 4 is mapped to the feedback parameter of all of these, which is changing the wavetable scan position, right? So if I disable that and just like kind of drag mod 4 around on my own, by changing it just a little bit at a time, you can get a nice evolving sound, but you also have access to a ton of shit. So the best advice I can give to anybody who wants to play around with those is literally just to set random oscillators to random wavetables at random feedback positions and just see what results are produced, really. And like when in doubt, use the sine limiter mode and turn up the amp, because it can get you a lot of those like grimy, funky FM sounds. I'm gonna go celebrate releasing a song by doing literally anything else. I hope that was useful to you.